In the dim glow of a camera light, a young woman steps into a world that promises everything: freedom, fame, power, but asks for something far greater in return. Pleasure is not a film about the surface of desire. It is a film about what lies beneath it. It begins with a dream so ordinary it almost feels harmless. The dream of becoming someone, of being seen, of proving that you exist in a world that notices only when you shout loud enough. But in this story, every spotlight burns a little too hot, every smile hides calculation, and every choice comes wrapped in consequence. Directed by Ninja Thyberg, Pleasure emerged from Sweden like a cold wind, cutting through the noise of global cinema. Thyberg did not set out to create controversy for its own sake. She wanted to examine ambition, what it does to people when the system around them is designed to measure worth through exposure. Her camera lingers, it watches, it refuses to flinch, and in that refusal she finds something honest, something human. Sofia Kappel, a newcomer to acting, carries the film with the quiet courage of someone stepping off a ledge without knowing if there is ground below. Her performance feels less like acting and more like an unraveling. Each glance, each hesitation becomes a confession. The realism is unsettling because it strips away performance, leaving only the person beneath the image. 19-year-old Linnea, working under the stage name Bella Cherry, is a girl from a small town in Sweden who travels to Los Angeles in the hopes of becoming a famous porn star. Under the guidance of her manager, she begins to navigate the challenging world of the porn industry, determined to achieve more significant roles and video views by pushing herself beyond personal boundaries and limits. Bella shares a house with a group of other young aspiring actresses, and though she is standoffish and private at first, she eventually bonds with one of her housemates, Joy, who supports Bella and helps her build her brand. At a party, the girls spot Mark Spiegler, one of the most successful and demanding agents in the porn industry. He is joined by Ava, one of the biggest names in the local porn scene. Bella starts a conversation with Ava, but does not get past pleasantries. Joy tries to flirt with a famous male actor, Caesar, but when he rejects her, she retaliates by pushing him into the pool. Bella works on several shoots, including a BSM scene with a female director who encourages Bella in positive, healthy ways, enforcing safety and consent on the set. However, Bella, determined to push herself further, requests hardcore scenes from her manager. While filming a rape scene with two male actors, she becomes overwhelmed and breaks down, repeatedly interrupting filming. Her co-stars and the director are initially supportive, but they quickly grow hostile and impatient when she struggles to finish the scene. Bella reluctantly agrees to complete the shoot and later confronts her manager, who reminds her that she requested harder material. Upset, Bella fires him as her manager. Now working independently, Bella attempts to acquire Spiegler as her new manager, but he turns her down, citing her weak social media following and insisting that he only accepts actresses willing to do extreme scenes. In order to prove herself, Bella participates in an unpaid interracial threesome, in which she engages in double anal penetration, which Bella later points out has never been done before in the industry, despite having never previously shot an anal sex scene, thus boosting her following considerably. Spiegler is impressed and agrees to hire Bella. As a way to repay her friend, Bella requests that Joy be part of her next scene. Joy is initially thrilled, but hesitates when the lead actor withdraws at the last minute and is replaced by Caesar. Bella implores Joy to go through with the shoot, but soon observes Caesar harassing Joy off camera. During the scene, which involves degradation and humiliation, Caesar begins to legitimately abuse Joy, who stops the scene in anger. Joy insists to the director that Caesar is harming her, but when she asks Bella to confirm Caesar's earlier harassment, Bella, worried about her reputation, balks. Furious, Joy upbraids Bella for her betrayal and storms off the set. Bella's given a chance to film a scene with Ava, but Ava humiliates her when she refuses to perform oral sex on Bella, claiming she has a yeast infection. The scene is changed so that Bella will penetrate Ava with a strap-on, but Bella quickly lets her anger and frustration take over, acting violently and aggressively towards Ava without warning or consent, just as many of her male co-stars and directors did to her since her arrival. When Bella tries to apologize to Ava later en route to a party, Ava nonchalantly dismisses her as if nothing had bothered her, which disturbs Bella. Bella is further disillusioned when she spots her former housemates at the party, all of whom are enjoying themselves. Unlike Bella, who is now essentially restricted to the VIP area. On the ride back from the party, Bella abruptly asks the car to stop so she can exit. When the film began its festival run, audiences were divided. Some stood in stunned silence. Others walked out. Critics called it both brave and unbearable. Many countries demanded cuts. Some banned it outright. In Saudi Arabia, in parts of Asia, and across conservative regions of Europe, censors declared it too disturbing, too provocative, too close to a truth no one wanted spelled out. Yet the bans only amplified its voice. Every rejection became another headline, another conversation about who gets to tell stories about power and who gets silenced when they try. The controversy surrounding Pleasure was never just about content. It was about confrontation. It held a mirror to a society that consumes images of control and vulnerability every day, yet panics when forced to confront the mechanics behind them. Thyberg's film didn't accuse, it observed. It revealed how an industry built on attention mirrors every other system hungry for validation, from Hollywood to social media feeds. In that sense, Pleasure was less about one woman's journey than about all of us, living inside a culture that monetizes exposure and calls it empowerment. What disturbed audiences most was not what they saw, but what they recognized. Beneath the stylized lighting and clinical precision, there was the universal tension between autonomy and approval. The characters' decisions felt terrifyingly logical in a world that rewards visibility above everything else. And so the film became something larger than its setting, a parable about modern identity, about the fragile line between choice and coercion. As the bans continued and online debates raged, Pleasure gathered a strange kind of following. Film students dissected its cinematography. Feminist scholars argued over its ethics. Journalists traced the backlash to cultural anxieties about control and consent. Some critics hailed it as one of the most important European debuts of the decade, a film that forced empathy where voyeurism usually thrives. Others dismissed it as too brutal, too cold. But even its harshest detractors admitted one thing: it was unforgettable. In interviews, Thyberg explained that her goal was not to moralize, but to observe power dynamics with honesty. She wanted to film ambition itself, the hunger that drives people to reinvent themselves, and the machine that chews through that hunger to create entertainment. The result was a piece of cinema that feels clinical yet deeply emotional, documentary yet dreamlike. Every frame questions the audience. Why are you watching? What are you expecting to feel? And when you look away, what does that say about you? Over time, Pleasure transformed from a scandal into a symbol. For filmmakers, it became proof that art could still disturb complacency, that storytelling could still force uncomfortable empathy. For audiences, it left a residue, a reminder that liberation, when filtered through commerce, always carries a shadow. The film's impact extended beyond its box office. It sparked workshops, essays, and festival panels about ethics and representation in cinema. It made people reconsider where authenticity ends and performance begins. Today, years after its release, Pleasure remains a whisper that lingers long after the screen goes dark. It asks questions that no law or rating system can silence. What does empowerment look like when it's packaged for consumption? What happens to selfhood when every expression can be sold? And how much of what we call freedom is just another kind of performance? In the end, the film offers no resolution. It leaves us in that uncomfortable space between admiration and guilt. The credits roll, but the silence that follows feels heavy, as if the audience itself has been exposed. Pleasure was banned in many places for showing too much, but perhaps what it truly revealed was not a hidden world, but our own reflection in it. The lights fade, the camera stops, and what remains is the echo of ambition, restless, hungry, and endlessly seeking an audience. That is the quiet brilliance of Ninja Thyberg's vision. She turned a story about desire into a meditation on control, a study of how far we will go to be seen, and how little of ourselves we keep when we finally are.